beautiful facility here at Science Field. Here's the kick, a little swift kick right down the middle. Picked up by Crowley at the 30. To the 35-yard line, cuts to the outside 40. Goes down to 43-yard line, and Oak Ridge will take over first down, 10 yards to go.
Well, it appeared obvious, Dave, at that time that they weren't going to try to kick it to the deep man, Sean Williams, but what they did do is kick it to Sean Crowley, Oak Ridge's fine punt return man, and he gave Oak Ridge great field position, a strategy that perhaps backfired that time on the Hilltoppers, as the Wildcats will open up with outstanding field position at the 44-yard line.
And up to the line will come Oak Ridge. The Wildcats will send senior wide receiver
Sean Crowley to the left, DeAndre Johnson wide to the right. The fullback is Sean Wright. The tailback is Sean Williams. The quarterback, Alonzo Howard. Just underway, 1st and 10 Oak Ridge at their own 42. Alonzo rolls to his left, has some pressure, goes down the field long. The pass to DeAndre Johnson, it's incomplete. Defending on the play for Science Hill, number 42, Jeffrey Benalisha, and it'll be 2nd down, 10 yards to go.
Got to like the Wildcats' aggressive attitude. David, take the opening kickoff in the first play. They're going deep with it. That time, just a overthrown pass just a little bit, but the Wildcats going for the big play early.
Yeah, I think you also need to mention that, that the field looks like it's in great shape, but notice on the kickoff there were several people that were slipping and sliding, so we'll see how this field wears and tears throughout the course of this game.
D.R. Patterson wide to the right side, Johnson wide to the left as the rain comes down hard once again. Here's the handoff to the tailback, Sean Williams, no place to go. In fact, he'll lose about 3 on the play, back to the 40-yard line. I think they'll officially put him down to 41. That time, big penetration on the left side by the Johnson City line. It'll be 3rd down, about 11 yards to go for Oak Ridge.
Well, that was actually a pretty smart play that time by Sean Williams, David. He looked like he sort of juggled the handoff and wasn't going to spend a lot of time making a lot of moves to try to pick up yardage. He was just concerned with holding on to the football, which is what he did, as big Brandon Jones came and took him down to the turf for a 2-yard loss.
2 receivers to the left, Crowley and DeAndre Johnson. Oak Ridge from the 41, 3rd down and 12. From the eye once again, Alonzo Howard under center. Rolls to his left, gets a block from Longest. Looks down the field, might run. Turns it up the field, turns it up to the 50-yard line. Battles for a first down. He'll be short by about 3 yards. He does move the ball inside Topper territory to around the 49-yard line. It'll be 4th down and about 3 yards to go. And Roy Howard will come to the game to punt the ball away for Oak Ridge.
And you can see Terry Copeland, the fine tailback, do it all. Mr. Everything for Science Hill, getting loose and limber down on the sidelines here in front of us for Science Hill. And of course, he'll be coming out onto the field momentarily for the Hilltoppers.
And let's see, the Wildcats with Roy Howard. He'll be punting from around the 40-yard line. Bearer back at the 10-yard line along with Benalisha. It'll be 4th down, about 2. Good snap. Roy fields it. Here's some pressure. Here's the kick. Nice little end-over-end kick. Will bounce to the 20. Bounce inside the 20, inside the 10. It rolls all the way down to the 5-yard line. A nice punt by Roy Howard. Johnson City will take over 1st and 10 at their own 5.
Roy Howard has certainly saved his best punting for the playoffs, David. An outstanding kicking performance against Jefferson County. Coach Gaddis said he had his best kicking performance against Gallatin, and that time gets off a 44-yard punt inside the 5-yard line and gives Science Hill terrible field position here. Outstanding kick by Roy Howard.
10 minutes, 21 seconds to go in the first quarter. We're just underway. Scoreless game. Johnson City with their first possession of the ball game. They'll start at the 5. First down, 10 yards to go, and up to the line they'll come. The quarterback for the Hilltoppers is number 12, Andy Harmon, a 5'10", 160-pound junior. In the backfield, Terry Copeland, a very fine running back. They'll send receivers left and right. 1st and 10 from the 5-yard line. And under center, Harmon, long count. He'll roll, hand it off, and for about, 5, 10 yards, he breaks free at the 20-yard line, to the 25, to the 30, to the 35, to the 40, to the 45, to the 50. Tracked down by Oak Ridge and tackled at the 30-yard line. Outstanding run by the Johnson City Hilltoppers as Copeland carries the ball to the 30-yard line.
Outstanding effort that time by Terry Copeland, David. Looked like the Oak Ridge defensive line had him intact, and then all of a sudden he bounces out to the outside. The guy is supposed to be a real speedster. I think he won the state AAU track meet, and Marcus Bates is probably the only person maybe in East Tennessee that could have hauled him down from behind.
And he was able to do that. Great game touchdown saving tackle that time by Marcus Bates. But what you saw was the great balance of Terry Copeland. He kept his legs going and popped it to the outside and showed some great speed and picked up a big gain.
1st and 10 from the 31-yard line. The quarterback hands it off for about 2, maybe 3 yards to the 28-yard line. Carrying the ball was Darrell Love, a 6', 155-pound senior. It'll be a gain of about 3 on the play. Second down, 7 yards to go. The ball inside the 30-yard line at the Oak Ridge 28. 9 minutes, 15 seconds to go. Harvey Stevens on the stop for the Wildcats. A scoreless game. The Hilltoppers with the ball. They'll send a single man wide to the right. That'll be Bill Thomas. Single man wide to the left. That'll be Chris Barrer. Backfield split once again. Andy Harmon at quarterback. Second down, a long 7 to go for a first. From the 28-yard line, the quarterback rolls right, hands it off, big stick. No place to go, right into the teeth of the Oak Ridge defense. I think Jason Williams, along with one other Wildcat, there to make the stop. Yeah, they tried to run the outside veer that time. I think, of course, Johnson City Science Hill is a veer team. That time, I think it was Jason Williams or maybe, I'm not exactly sure, the other one was just absolutely collapsed on the defensive end side of the ball. It'll be third down, about 7 yards to go for a first. 8.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. The ball inside the Oak Ridge 30 at the 27. Once again, they'll come with 2 receivers drifting to the right side. That'll be Thomas and Barrer. Up to the line they'll come. They'll send 3 men that way. A single running back behind the quarterback, Andy Harmon. Up to the line they'll come. Third down, about 7. Rain falling down. Harmon rolls to his right. Dumps it out of the backfield. Pass incomplete. It'll be fourth down, 7 yards to go. That pass just a little bit over the top of the intended receiver. It'll be fourth down, 7 yards to go. Looked like had the pass been complete, the Hilltopper receiver would have had first down yardage. He was looking for Copeland, who lined up that time in the wing formation and came out of the backfield. He overthrew him, as you said, but Harvey Stevens was right on his tail, putting good pressure on the quarterback. Fourth down, about 7. The Hilltoppers going forward here. They're coached by Mike Turner in his second year. Came from Carson Newman, was the offensive coordinator there for a number of years. Up to the line they'll come. They'll send a single man to the left side. Roger Sylvie on defense against him. 2 receivers to the right. Backfield split. Fourth down, about 7 yards to go. Harmon under center. He'll roll to his left, turn it up the field. Gets a good hole, now will pitch. Good running room. He crosses the 20-yard line and picks up what would appear to be first down yardage at around the 21-yard line. I believe he's short. I believe he will be short. Let's see where they spot the football. An outstanding hit coming up from the safety position by DeAndre Johnson, but they're going to bring the chains out and take a measure with timeout on the field. Our score is 0-0. We'll be back in 30 seconds. They thought they did the same thing, didn't they? Nope. DeAndre, that was awesome. That was
The Wildcats take over.
The chains are stretched, and Oak Ridge will take over. First down, 10 yards to go. So the Wildcats saw the Hilltoppers move all the way to the 5-yard line to close to the 20, but Oak Ridge holds on that fourth down play. It'll be first and 10 Oak Ridge. David DeAndre Johnson, Oak Ridge's fine receiver and defensive back, 5'11", 168-pounder, came up and made a big hit that time to knock the running back, Darrell Love, out of bounds, who had a good head of steam going, but DeAndre came in and knocked him out of bounds short of the first down and allowed Oak Ridge to take over. First and 10 Wildcats from the 21. Alonzo Howard hands it off to his fullback. Sean Wright, fumble in the air, and it's recovered, I believe, by the Hilltoppers at the 22-yard line. That play very similar to the Murfreesboro-Oakland game of a number of years ago. The ball went straight up in the air. The Hilltoppers came down with it. Great field position, a big turnover for the Wildcats. Let's see what the Oak Ridge defense can do. Science Hill will take over at the 22-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go. 7 minutes, 49 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Unfortunate string of events there for the Wildcats, David. Looked like several of the Hilltopper players came collapsing hard on Sean Wright, and one of them was able to get his helmet right there on the football and popped it straight up in the air, and Science Hill came in to pick up the recovery, and now they have great field position. Andy Harmon brings his team up once again. Backfield split, single receiver to the right. First and 10. Quarterback hands it off. Big hole opens up for number 28. He's at the 10-yard line. He slips and falls there. Nice run by Terry Copeland once again. A big hole open up on the left side, and he's inside to around the 10-yard line. He picks up a first down. I think it'll be, let's see, right at the 10. It'll be probably first down goal to go at the 10. Yeah, it was just a little counter-action play, and that time the Hilltopper offensive line opened up a huge hole, and somebody just got a hand on his ankle, and he ended up going down. Otherwise, it looked like he may have scored on that one. First and goal at the 10. Once again, Harmon brings his team up. 7:10 to go here in this first quarter. The handoff goes for about 4 yards once again. Off on the left side. The stop is made by the Wildcats. Harvey Stevens around the stop along with Joe Longest. It'll be, let's see, for Science Hill. Second down Line of scrimmage will be right at between the 7 and the 6 yard line. Second down, goal to go from that point. 6:49 to go, scoreless ball game. We're in the first quarterfinals here in Johnson City. Oak Ridge and the Hilltoppers of Science Hill High School. Up to the line once again, Andy Harmon. Backfield split once again, Love and Copeland in the backfield. Harmon from inside the 10-yard line of Oak Ridge, from the 7. Four-man front for the Wildcats. Harmon rolls to his right, looks for help, turns the ball up the field, has running room, fires it into the end zone. Touchdown, Johnson City. Nice pass by Harmon on the run. Found a receiver at the backside of the end zone, hit his man, and they score first. 6-0 our score, 6:23 to go here in the first quarter.
Nice poise on the part of the quarterback, Andy Harmon, that time, David. Rolled to his right, felt pressure from behind by Harvey Stevens and Jeff Miner. Looked like he could have been able to run and pick up pretty good yardage, but he saw his open man and went for the touchdown and threw a strike to his receiver in the end zone for a big Science Hill touchdown.
And it'll be Matt Maggard to attempt the extra point here. 6-0 Johnson City, 6:23 to go in the first quarter. High snap, heavy pressure. Here's the kick, it's up, and it is good.
Sean Williams, number 22, deep for the Wildcats.
Here in Johnson City, the kick goes through the end zone, so the Wildcats will take over. First down, 10 yards to go at the 20. Johnson City taking the ball in from about 21 yards out after the fumble by the Wildcats, and they lead it by a score of 7-0.
Well, just an unfortunate turnover on the part of the Wildcats, and Science Hill was able to capitalize. You know, David, Terry Copeland with 2 big runs here in the first half. He is really the real deal. The Wildcats are going to have their hands full stopping him tonight, and we'll see how they react here in the future. But Oak Ridge goes in on offense now, looking for a big drive.
Up to the line they'll come. Oak Ridge with 2 receivers to the right. The quarterback is Alonzo Howard. The pitch will go to Sean Williams. Cuts it to the inside. Tries to get some running room. Moves the ball forward for a gain of about 3, maybe even 4 yards, picking and choosing his hole on the left side. It'll be second down and about 6 yards to go for a first. So they gave him about 4 yards on the carry. We're down as the clock now has gone off here. The rain continues to fall down hard here in Johnson City. The Wildcats from the eye. The pitch will go to Williams. Williams finds a hole. The 25 to the 30, to the 35 to the 40. Cuts it to the outside 45. Down he goes at the 50-yard line. Oak Ridge first down, 10 yards to go.
Outstanding run that time by Sean Williams, David. What a move he made as he broke it across the 30-yard line, picked up first down yardage as he cut back to the middle. And give credit to Oak Ridge's big offensive lineman, the offside lineman. The play went to the right side, but the linemen on the left side were running down the field, and he got great downfield blocking from the left side of his line and helped him actually pick up about another 10 or 15 yards.
Chris Brown wide to the right side, single man wide to the left. Sean Wright's the fullback. The tailback is Sean Williams. Oak Ridge to the line. Here's movement across the line by the Oak Ridge offensive line. The ball's at the 49-yard line of Johnson City, but that's going to cost Oak Ridge 5. So it'll be first down, 15 yards to go.
This is a really big possession for Oak Ridge. You know, they're down 7. I'm sure they have to get something on the board just to get some confidence back. And, of course, I don't foresee this ball game getting out of hand, but you've got to score first, and this would be a great time to do it.
David, Oak Ridge on their first possession went to the air a few times, ran maybe Sean Williams up the middle one time. We talked about Sean being such an outstanding playoff performer here in those first 2 rounds. The Wildcats, these last 2 plays have gone right to Williams, their big gun in the playoffs.
First down, 15 yards to go. Alonzo hands it off to Sean Wright, his fullback. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, but not much farther than that. He's tackled at the 47-yard line. It'll be second down, about 14 yards to go. 7-0 Johnson City on top of Oak Ridge here in the 3rd round of the TSSAA Playoffs. You're listening to the game live on AM 1290 WATO. Our engineer back at the station is James Allen. Mike McNeely back there as well. He'll be providing scores a little bit later on. We're also on Tennessee Cablevision Channel 12 tonight. Andrew Smith, the engineer back at the cable. Up to the line, Oak Ridge. Second down, 14 yards to go. Receivers left and right for Oak Ridge. From the eye, once again, Alonzo Howard will pitch to his tailback. That's Sean Williams across midfield. He moves the ball forward to around the 47-yard line. It'll be third down, about 8, maybe even 9 yards to go for an Oak Ridge first.
Yeah, so far, you know, the Oak Ridge Wildcats have run that sweep about 3 or 4 times. It's been their bread and butter play all year, and the Hilltoppers are going to definitely have to stop that in order to have a chance at this game, I do believe.
The Wildcats to the line. Third down, about 8.5 yards to go. Sean Crowley and DeAndre Johnson wide to the right side. Up to the line, Oak Ridge from the I formation. Alonzo Howard inside Science Hill territory at their 47. The pitch will go to Williams. Here's the reverse to DeAndre Johnson. Needs a block. No place to go. He tries to get to the outside. He'll go down right at the line of scrimmage. The Wildcats will be forced to punt once again. That'll be 4th down, 8 yards to go.
You have to give credit to the Science Hill defense and their film crew, David, really prepared that time for the reverse. DeAndre Johnson is certainly not easy to bring down in the open field, but that time Science Hill was able to pick out the reverse. The offside defenders stayed at home and were able to make a nice tackle.
4th down, about 8 yards to go. 7-0 Johnson City on top. We're in the first quarter. Some pressure. Here's Roy's kick, another high, long, booming kick. And boom! Was a big stick at the 5-yard line against number 8 Bear. That was just a vicious lick by the Wildcats.
Derek Smith, David, came down flying down through there, running extremely hard, and Derek is just a reckless player, has total disregard for his body, and that time he had total disregard for Beerer's body as he blasted him down to the cold turf, and he's slow to get up and slow to walk off the field.
They started the drive deep in this territory the last time. They drove it down to around the 20-yard line before that drive ended. They have the ball here at about the 8-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go. Up to the line will come Johnson City. They'll send Bear wide to the left side if he can get the cobwebs out of his head. Up to the line they'll come. Once again, Andy Harmon, the quarterback. Backfield split, Love and Copeland. And the handoff, the quarterback reverses to the right. He hands it off for about a yard. Not much more than that. Copeland on the carry, I believe. And he moves the ball forward for maybe a yard at most. Not much more than that. The rain continuing to pour down very, very hard here in Johnson City. It'll be 2nd down, 9 yards to go.
Actually, I believe it was Love on the carry that time, David, to the right. But something you saw on the very beginning of that play, they faked the ball to Copeland. And something that is great to see if you're a Wildcat fan is Jason Williams coming in there and wrapping Copeland up. Because the way they handle the ball, they're very deceptive, putting the ball in each running back's stomach. But that time they tackled the responsibility of Copeland and, of course, did a great job bringing down the ball carrier, Love.
Bear wide to the left, 2nd down, 9. This time the pitch will go to the right side, and they'll get about 2, maybe 3 yards. Still battling for yards. He's a load to bring down. He continued to move the ball up the field. It'll be 3rd down, though, about 4 yards to go for Johnson City.
David, I've seen him run the ball in person 4 times, but he reminds me a lot of Sean Summers in the fact that every time he touches the ball, you're just not going to give up until he is absolutely down until the whistle blows.
Senior Mike Sherrod there for the stop, driving him out of bounds. It'll be 3rd down, about 4 yards to go. Big defensive play about to come up for the Wildcats. The ball inside the 15, around the 14-yard line. 3rd down, a long 4 to go for a first. 7-0, Johnson City on top here in the first quarter. Single receiver to the right, which is the near sideline. Single man wide to the right. Backfield split behind Harmon. Harmon hands it off, and they'll not get the first down. He'll go down right at the 15-yard line. Another good play by the defense, and the Wildcats will get the ball back.
Excellent stand that time, David, by the defense. They ended up, looks like after the punt, they're going to have excellent field position. They're punting from about the, I believe, can't see from here, about the 15 or 14-yard line. Oak Ridge should definitely have some good field position here.
Well, the first time Roy Howard punted, David, he pinned Science Hill down deep, and of course Terry Copeland had a long run that got Science Hill out of poor field position. But Roy Howard, once again, you got to give him credit, pinned Science Hill deep in their own territory, and now the Wildcat defense comes up with a huge stop, and it looks like they're going to have great field position here.
Johnson City to punt from inside the 5. Low snap, little pressure. Here's the kick. Little end over end kick. Will bounce it around midfield. Sean Crowley picks it up on the run, and then it gets to the outside. He goes down the sideline and tippy-toes his way out of bounds at around the 40-yard line. But great field position for Oak Ridge inside Johnson City territory. Officially, they're putting down at the 42. 1st and 10, Oak Ridge. We're in the first quarter. The Hilltoppers lead by a score of 7-0.
Yeah, Sean Crowley really made a gutsy play that time. The ball hit probably 10 yards ahead of him. It took a high bounce, and he ended up sprinting up to it and caught it down at his shoelaces. Everybody up in the booth said, no, 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 but he ended up making a great play, great field position.
And up to the line will come the Wildcats from the 42-yard line. 1st down, 10 yards to go. Crowley wide to the right, single man wide to the left. Wildcats from the I, 1st and 10. The pitch will go to the tailback. Wildcats moving the ball forward to inside the 40-yard line to around the 37-yard line. Perhaps beyond that, it'll be Williams on the carry. It'll be 2nd down and about, 6 yards to go. Nice run on 1st down for Sean Williams.
Well, it really was, and it's great to see Sean just take that pitch and fall in there behind his fullback and those big offensive linemen just pushing downfield. And, there wasn't an awful lot of daylight there, but those linemen just continued to churn, and Sean just filed in right behind him and picked up 5 or 6 yards.
Wildcats up to the line, second down, about 5.5 yards to go. The pitch will go to Williams. Gets a block from his fullback. Barrels his way close to a first down, close to the 30-yard line. Driven back by the right side of the Johnson City line. It'll be close to a first down. They'll unpile the pile at around the 33, an official's timeout. And it'll be, let's see, about a yard short or so. It'll be third down and a yard to go. We're live here on AM 1290 WATO, Tennessee Cablevision, Channel 12. Roger Eichelbarger on our camera here tonight. James Allen, our engineer, back of the station as the chains are brought onto the field. The chains are stretched, and they'll be short by about the half a length of a football. So it'll be third down, less than a yard to go for an Oak Ridge first.
Well, David, that time Sean Williams took the pitch to the left and picked up about 3 yards before he was met by a Science Hill defender, but Sean had a good head of steam going, lowered his shoulder, and just took the pile back and picked up an extra 3 or 4 yards, actually about 3.5. He was just about 6 or 7 inches short here, and the Wildcats come to the line, hopefully going to pick up a big first down here.
Mike Sherridge, the fullback, Sean Williams, the tailback, third down, less than a yard to go. Alonzo Howard, the senior quarterback, under center, Jody Dickens. The pitch will go to Williams. He picks up the first down, yes, as he falls forward, just barely across the first down marker at around the 32-yard line. It'll be first down, 10 yards to go for Oak Ridge.
Yeah, I don't know what Sean Williams is listed at in the program. It's, I think, about 5'11", 170 pounds. I don't think he's quite that big, but in a short yardage situation, he really gets his shoulders parallel, gets low, and takes on all comers. He just does a great job of short yardage runs.
He really does, and we talked about it last week. Of course, he had the big 75-yard run against Gallatin, and, of course, that was the run that brought everyone to their feet, but it was some of his 3 and 4 and 5-yard runs, and maybe even a 1-yard run at one point where he was hitting the backfield and picked up a yard that were the big runs. And let's see, first down for Oak Ridge. I don't even really know why they brought the chains on the field that time. His second effort looked to me like it carried him a yard or two beyond the first down marker, but nevertheless the chains are brought out and Sean does pick up a big first down.
In a quarterfinals playoff game, they don't want to take any chances, and it is indeed first and 10 Wildcats. Up to the line will come Oak Ridge from the Johnson City 32-yard line. Oak Ridge moving from left to right as we look down from the home side. From the eye, first and 10 Oak Ridge. Alonzo Howard, movement across the line by the Cats, and they're going to back them up 5. Earlier, the Wildcats were penalized 5, and they were forced to punt, so it's going to hurt them again. It'll be first down, 15 yards to go. The Wildcats trailing Johnson City here by a score of 7-0. The Hilltoppers scoring on a 7-yard pass from Andy Harmon to Chris Barrer, and that happened after a 1-minute, 22-second drive after a Wildcat turnover. It'll be first down, 15 yards to go. The line of scrimmage out at the 36-yard line of Johnson City. The Wildcats come to the line. De'Ara Patterson wide to the right, single man wide to the left. Oak Ridge from the eye once again. Sherrod and Williams in the backfield. Mike Sherrod gets the call. Big hole opens up. He works the ball across the 30, down to the 25, down to the 20, close to an Oak Ridge first down.
Huge run that time by Mike Sherrod. David, the Wildcats just ran the fullback right up the middle, and Sherrod just pounded his way down, picked up about 10 yards, and just as I said about Sean Williams earlier, he just lowered his shoulder and drove a defender for the next 4 or 5 yards on the play. Picked up 16 yards on the carry, and once again, Oak Ridge, a big first down.
The line of scrimmage, the 21-yard line of Johnson City, as the first quarter perhaps has come to a close. The Wildcats and Hilltoppers, they lead by a score of 7-0, and we'll be back in 60 seconds. Now up to the line, Oak Ridge. Opening play of the second quarter, Science Hill on top, 7-0. 2 receivers to the right, Sean Crowley, senior, DeAndre Johnson, junior, wide to the right side, which is the far side. Now the Wildcats moving from right to left. Alonzo Howard is the quarterback for the Wildcats. Mike Sherrod still in at fullback. The tailback is Sean Williams. Up to the line, Oak Ridge. First down, 10 yards to go from the Johnson City 21. Alonzo will pitch to his tailback, Williams. Williams at the 20, at the 15, 10. Barrels his way down to the 9-yard line. Oak Ridge, another fine run. They'll put him out officially at the 10. Nice run again by Sean Williams.
That's just a classic example of the great explosiveness of Sean Williams, David. There was a hole opened up on the left side, but it wasn't a gaping hole, but a crease that is big enough for Sean to get through, and that's all you really need to give a running back with his explosiveness is just a little crease, and he'll pop through it. Just like that time, a big run by Sean.
11 minutes, 52 seconds to go in the first half. 7-0, Johnson City on top. The Wildcats with the ball right at the 10-yard line. Chris Brown, senior, wide to the right, which is the far side. Single man wide to the left for Oak Ridge, Sean Crowley. From the eye, Oak Ridge at the 10-yard line. First down, perhaps 10 yards to go. Alonzo under center, Jody Dickens. He'll sneak forward. He's at the 5. He barrels to the 3, spins down to the 1-yard line. Another fine run by the quarterback of Oak Ridge, Alonzo Howard.
I tell you what, Oak Ridge has had so much success with running the quarterback sneak. You know, it's a play you think you run, third down, fourth down and 1. Oak Ridge has run it several times, especially in the last 4 or 5 games, and each time Alonzo Howard picks up, 8, 9, 10 yards. It's really been an explosive play for Oak Ridge.
I'd be willing to bet that was an audible that time, because Science Hill came to the line and shifted over and left the center unguarded, and Alonzo noticed that and took off right up the middle and brought it down to the 1-yard line.
Up to the line, Oak Ridge. Alonzo Howard. The pitch will go to Williams. Big hole, but he's stuck hard at the 5-yard line. Big stick by the Hilltoppers. Number 41, I believe, Wayne Cross. That was a big stick. Big league play there, and the Wildcats now have it third down at between the 5 and the 4-yard line. Third down, that far to go for an Oak Ridge score.
Well, the third down, 4.5 yards up on and there's no doubt that Oak Ridge has definitely got a score here. They'd hate to go in, make a fourth down, fourth down and goal, and then be denied. This is a very critical play this early in the ball game.
Brown and Crowley wide to the right. Mike Sherrod, the fullback. Sean Williams, the tailback. Alonzo Howard from the 4-yard line. Third down, goal to go. Alonzo rolls to his right, has some running room, and slips and falls down at the 8-yard line. As he made his cut on the wet turf, his legs just came out from underneath him, and the Wildcats will send in the field goal unit into the game to try to put 3 on the scoreboard.
Well, the Wildcats are certainly going to be attempting a big field goal right here, David. Want to put points on the board when you have a nice long drive like the Wildcats did, and really, I guess the weather claims its first casualty as Alonzo had his feet slip out from under him, as you pointed out. Tough break for the Wildcats, but once again, a nice drive by the Oak Ridge offense. They did a lot of things. They moved a lot of people and executed really well.
David Johnson to attempt. Here's the kick. The kick is up, and it is good. The Hilltoppers lead it by a score of 7-3.
Yeah, I think we also have to give a lot of credit to Scott Lamoon at the time. It was a high snap, a very hard high snap, and with a wet ball, he did a great job of catching it and putting it down on the tee for the field goal.
Here's the kick by Eduardo Rivera. Fielded at the 15, to the 20, to the 25, to a big stick on Bear, and he is buried by a host of Wildcats at around the 26-yard line. Mr. Bear has really been blasted tonight here in the first half, but he's tough. He gets right back up.
Well, he's taken a couple really hard licks, but as you said, David, that time he just bounced right back up. Next time he catches the ball, he'll probably lower down a little bit because he's running straight up and basically been blasted twice now. So Oak Ridge doing a good job of hitting hard and have a big defensive stand here, hopefully coming up in this big possession.
How about a turnover right here, guys?
Up to the line will come Johnson City. Single man to the right, 2 receivers to the left. Backfield split. Andy Harmon, a quarterback. 1st and 10. Johnson City from the 27. Handoff goes up the middle. Good running room. Across the way he goes. He breaks to the outside. He's outside for the first down. Across the 40, up to the 45, up to the 46. Copeland, the ball carrier. 1st and 10. Science Hill.
Well, Terry Copeland runs so low to the ground, David, but he keeps his head up at the same time and still is able to maintain great vision. He can cut on a dime, and that time just made an outstanding cut, cutting to the outside, and in doing so crossed the 100-yard mark already here in the first half. I don't remember a running back that ran on for 100 yards all year against Oak Ridge. 1st and 10, Johnson City. They'll send 2 receivers to the right side. Somebody needs to get over and help defensively. Backfield split. 1st down 10. The Wildcats trailing 7-3. The quarterback Harmon rolls to his right. Pitches to Copeland. Copeland around the 40 to the 50. Down he goes to the 45-yard line. Sean Crowley makes the stop along with, the Wildcats number 30 Marcus Bates. He moves the ball to the Oak Ridge 45, gain of about 8 on the play. It'll be 2nd down, 2 yards to go. Got to like the offensive game plan of the Science Hill Hilltoppers, David, and that they are really spreading their wide receivers far out, and in doing so, spreading out the Wildcat defense and creating better blocking angles for their linemen and really more open field for Terry Copeland to find.
Single receiver to the left, single man wide to the right. Science Hill moving from left to right. 2nd down, about 3 yards to go. Harmon under center, hands it off. 1st down across the 40 to the 35. Down he goes to the 33. Another fine run by Science Hill. Copeland tripped up by DeAndre Johnson and Roger Sylvie as well. It'll be 1st and 10. Johnson City moving the ball crisply to the Oak Ridge 32-yard line. Harmon looking for the play from the sideline. The head coach of Johnson City Science Hill is Mike Turner. Assistant coaches Greg Stubbs, Randy Farrell, John Fidey, along with Gary Bacon, Scott McClanahan, Bill McKinney, and a host of others. They have more assistant coaches than some teams have players. 1st down, 10 yards to go for Science Hill at the 32. 8 minutes to go first half. 7-3 Johnson City on top. Once again, a single man to the left side. Man off to the right as well. Backfield split. Oak Ridge defensively trying to stop the Hilltoppers here. They're at the 32-yard line. Now flags are down. We might have a delay perhaps called against Science Hill. They were at the line forever, and they'll back them up 5.
Yeah, David, I believe he was trying to check off. He came up to the line, saw something that he either liked or didn't like, and was going to change to a play that would go a lot better. That right at the verge of getting the play off, and end up taking a delay game penalty, 5 yards. First down and 15 for the Hilltoppers.
Well, the Wildcats threw him a curve that time. They brought their cornerback, scat-back, cat-back player Roger Sylvie up to the line and had him blitzing, and perhaps Harmon saw that and wanted to check to a different play. So the Wildcats that time forced Johnson City into a big penalty.
Jeremy Bolins wide to the left side. He's a load. 6'1", 210 pounds, along with Ohlers wide to the left. Backfield split. Harmon, first down, 15 yards to go from the 36. The quarterback hands it off for about, about maybe a yard, not much more than that. He's across the 35 to about the 33-yard line. 7:15 to go here in the first half. It'll be second down, about 12 yards to go.
Yeah, Science Hill does a really good job of carrying out the play. What I mean by that is after the quarterback runs or hands the ball off, instead of just standing there and everybody knows he doesn't have it, he keeps running, and lots of times the defense players don't know who's got the ball. They do a very good job of that.
Once again, up to the line they'll come. Second down, 12 from the 34-yard line of Oak Ridge. Backfield split. 6 minutes, 52 seconds to go first half. Johnson City on top, 7-3. Quarterback Harmon will pass across the way. Wide open pass complete to the 15, to the 10. Pushed out of bounds at around the 5. An excellent pass. A quick pass complete to the intended receiver, Chris Barrer. And they're inside the 10-yard line. An outstanding play that time for Johnson City.
Well, it really was. They just found the soft spot in the Wildcat defensive secondary. The Wildcats, of course, have a responsibility there in the flat, and then, of course, the deep part of the field, but there's a little area in there that's sometimes hard to thread the needle on, and that's what they were able to do that time as they faked the option, just rose up and hit Beerer, who, of course, will probably feel a lot better now after taking 2 big hits, picking up some big receiving yardage that time.
From the 2-yard line, first down, goal to go for Science Hill. 6:40 to go in the first half. Harmon under center, first down, goal to go. Backfield split, and the quarterback rolls to his right, hands it off into the end zone. Touchdown, Johnson City. So the Hilltoppers barrel their way in for the touchdown, and just like that, they drive down the field and up their lead to 13-3 here with 6 minutes, 35 seconds to go in the first half.
Well, Bachman, the running back that time for Science Hill, was able to get in. He just wouldn't quit fighting into the end zone. The Wildcats had him there stopped and stood him up. It looked like he had him stopped, but he was able to slide and slip his way into the end zone for a big Science Hill touchdown. That they now lead it 13-3, and the extra point, of course, up in the air right now.
And to attempt the extra point will be Matt Maggard, a 6'1", 145-pound senior. 13-3. Here comes the snap, the kick. It's gonna be hit. He's running for his life to the right, fires the pass into the end zone. 2-point conversion, yes. So the Wildcats got good penetration, but they get the 2-point conversion. Big play for Science Hill.
But Johnson City has come out early and sort of set the tempo for this game. We'll see if the Wildcats and how they react and respond to that.
Here's the kick by Maggard, fielded by Oak Ridge at the 15. Fumble by Williams at the 20, to the 25, to the 30, to the 35-yard line. At the 35, he barrels his way to the 40. Down he goes to the 42, and that's where Oak Ridge will take over. First down, 10 yards to go after the fine run by Sean Williams. The rain continues to pour down here. 15-3 the score. Johnson City on top. 6:25 to go first half.
You got to like the effort of Sean Williams, David, giving Oak Ridge great field position once again with an outstanding kickoff return. He's so good at just getting behind his blockers and feeling pressure and slide stepping to the left and to the right as tacklers come in to try to get him, and he just does an outstanding job of picking his way down the field.
Johnson and Crowley wide to the left for Oak Ridge. Up to the line, Oak Ridge. 1st and 10 Wildcats. The pitch will go to Williams. Williams across the 45. Tackled at the 46-yard line. Gain of about 4. It'll be second down and about 6 yards to go. 6 minutes to go in the first half. 15-3. Science Hill on top of Oak Ridge. Wildcats with the ball, let's see, at their own 46-yard line. They'll have it, as I mentioned, second down, about 6.5 yards to go for it first. Wildcats up to the line, moving from right to left. It'll be senior Chris Brown wide to the right. DeAndre Johnson wide to the left. Coverage by Justin Kinch on him to our left. From the eye once again, second down and 6. Alonzo will pass. Quick pass to DeAndre Johnson. Makes a move. Is hit. Tackled after a gain of about 3, maybe 4 yards at the 49-yard line. It'll be third down and about 3 yards to go. 5:25 to go first half. 15-3, Johnson City on top.
Yeah, DeAndre really did a good job of getting anywhere. You know, they throw that little quick hitch pass out there. He really had a guy right in front of him every time he went to the right, so the other guy ended up managing 2 or 3 yards and really shouldn't have had anything. So hats off to DeAndre Johnson.
The ball is officially put down between the 48 and the 49, so it's third down, about 3 yards to go. Crowley wide to the right side, DeAndre Johnson wide to the left, Oak Ridge from the I, Mike Sherridge the fullback. The tailback for the Wildcats is Williams. Alonzo under center, hands it off to his fullback. No, he'll run it himself. Turn it up the field to the 45, to the 40. Cuts his way down to the 35, down to the 33. First down, 10 yards to go for Oak Ridge.
Alonzo Howard just has outstanding speed, David, and we're really getting a chance to see it as he comes out of the pocket and runs the option and gets a chance to run the ball. Scott pointed out earlier, does a great job running the quarterback sneak, and that time in the open field just really turned it on and blew a few defenders away, made a nice move, and picked up big yardage and a big Oak Ridge first.
4 minutes, 41 seconds to go here in the first half. The Wildcats first down, 10 yards to go at the Science Hill 33-yard line. Sherrod, the fullback. Williams, the tailback. Receivers left and right. Alonzo Howard, first and 10. He'll hand it off. No, he'll roll and pitch to his tailback, Williams. Williams clicks up close to another first down as he moves the ball across the 25, close to the 24-yard line.
Yeah, David, I was just getting ready to say on that last play, when Alonzo ran the ball, he could have definitely pitched. He had looked like Sean Williams would have had clear ceiling for a long game. So I was getting ready to say, they'll definitely run that play again. Here they are, the next play. They run the exact same play. Sean Williams picks up a great, looks like 9 yards, and on the roll. We need to score here.
Second down, about a yard to go for the Wildcats. Up to the line they'll come. From the I, once again, 2 receivers to the left, which is the near side. The Wildcats with Alonzo under center from the 25. Alonzo sneaks the ball forward and really takes a shot. Picks up the first down, but really took a shot by one of the linebackers for the Science Hill Hilltoppers.
Of course, Alonzo just pops right back up. Scott pointed out that the Wildcats ran those 2 options on successive plays, and Alonzo, of course, kept it on the first play. He really made a great move because I was in agreement with Scott. It looked like if he pitched it, he would have had Sean for an open game, but he just made an outstanding cut, made a defender miss, and really turned it on for a great run. And, of course, the next time pitched it to Sean, who picked up 9 yards.
First and 10 from the 22. The pitch will go to the tailback, Williams. Williams barrels across the 20-yard line, pushed back at around the, let's say, 18. Tempers flaring out on the field, but things are fine. We're down to 3:22 to go in the first half, 15-3. Science Hill on top of the Wildcats here. The Wildcats have moved the ball to the Hilltopper 18 or 19-yard line. Gain of only about 2, maybe 3 yards on the play. We'll call it second down, a long 7 to go for an Oak Ridge first. Play brought in from the sideline from the head coach of the Oak Ridge High School Wildcats, Coach Joe Gaddis. D.R. Patterson, a wide out to the right, single man wide to the left for Oak Ridge. That'll be DeAndre Johnson from the I once again. Second down, about 7. Alonzo from the 19 hands it off to Sherrod. Sherrod up the middle to the 10-yard line, down to the 9-yard line. First and 10, first and goal, Oak Ridge, as Wright carries the ball across the 10-yard line. 2:44 to go. Wildcats knocking on the door once again inside the 10 on the nice run by Sean Wright.
I feel like there's 2 keys to that run being so successful, David. First of all, the fact that the Wildcats ran the option so successful just a few plays back, faking to the fullback up the middle, and then carrying out but Sean picked up a big Oak Ridge first down.
First and goal, Wildcats at the 9-yard line. Here comes Alonzo. He fumbles it. Science Hill has it. I believe at 11, or no, it's going to be second down. He's holding up 2, so the Wildcats fortunate they got the ball back. I thought they had turned it over. The ball's a loss back to the 11-yard line, or 12, after 11. So it'll be second down, goal to go from there.
Boy, they really dodged a bullet there, David. The ball was on the ground for just a second, and it looked clearly like the Hilltopper player bounced on it. I don't know who got it, but definitely heads-up play by one of the Wildcats.
Looked like Alonzo jumped right back on that football, and you're right, Scott. Big heads-up play by the senior quarterback, Alonzo Howard.
2 minutes, 10 seconds to go first half. Second down, goal to go for the Wildcats, the 11. The pitch will go to Williams. Williams needs a hole. Cuts to the outside. He's inside the 5, I believe he goes. It'll be maybe the 6-yard line. Cross there for the stop. They'll put him down at the 6. We're down to 1:53 to go. It'll be for Oak Ridge. Third down, goal to go. The ball at the 6-yard line. 1:45 to go here in the first half. 15-3, Johnson City. 2 receivers to the left side. Oak Ridge from the I. Third down, goal to go at the 6. The handoff to Williams. No place to go. Goes down right at the line of scrimmage as they once again tried to go with the right side on the handoff this time, and it'll be fourth down. Goal to go for the Wildcats right at the line of scrimmage, which was the 6. Fourth down, goal to go from there. 1:30 to go, and the Wildcats will call another timeout. The ball at the 6-yard line, 4th down, goal to go for Oak Ridge. The Wildcats going for it. They send 2 receivers to the far side. The Wildcats, Alonzo rolls left. The pitch to Williams. Williams is hit and dropped. He'll take over. 1st down, 10 yards to go at the 10-yard line. This Science Hill team, an outstanding team here, and they stop Oak Ridge inside the 10. And they're extremely fired up.
Yeah, there's no doubt that it's probably the biggest play in the game, and definitely so far, now Oak Ridge goes into halftime, or hopefully, down by 12 points, a big momentum builder for the Hilltoppers. There's still plenty of time, maybe an incomplete pass or something to stop the clock. Oak Ridge could possibly get the ball back before halftime.
Yeah, you'd certainly like to see a big turnover here, certainly similar to an earlier fumble that the Wildcats had where the ball just squirted straight up in the air on a handoff right up the middle. The Wildcats could use a big play like that here with a few minutes left in the first half.
I really couldn't imagine Science Hill really trying to do much here down at the 7-yard line. The Wildcats can't stop the clock. They will hand it off up the middle to Copeland. He moves the ball, nearly fumbled it at the 15-yard line. It'll be a gain on the play of about 6. It'll be 2nd down, 4 yards to go. We're under a minute to go here in this first half, 15-3, Science Hill on top. We'll be recapping the scoring at halftime as well. We'll send it back to our engineer, James Allen, here in a few moments. We're down to 45 seconds and counting. 2nd down, about 2 yards to go for the Hilltoppers, wearing maroon jerseys, a dark maroon, along with gold trim and white numerals. The Wildcats in their white jerseys, cardinal numerals and cardinal pants. 2nd down, a long 2 to go for a first. Harmon under center, 25 seconds to go. And Harmon will hand it off for, let's see, 1st down yardage across the 20 up to the 23, and we're down to 17 seconds as the chains are stretched. So Science Hill not wanting to make any kind of mistakes right here, and they have moved the chains, pick up a 1st down, and we're down to 17 seconds to go. Science Hill on top, 15-3. We're up here in Johnson City. The Wildcats and the Hilltoppers here. The Wildcats and the Hilltoppers haven't played since they played in the rain in 1979. As the half comes to a close, the Hilltoppers head to the locker room. Their fans on their feet. They lead it by a score of 15-3.
But we're getting ready for the second half in a pouring down rain.
I think Scott made a great point. Science Hill's yards have come a lot easier, but the Wildcats have pretty much the same yards, but they've just had to work an awful lot harder for them.
And the Wildcats will kick off here. Eduardo Rivera with the ball on the tee. It'll be Copeland back at the 10-yard line. We're about to get the 3rd quarter underway, 15-3 Science Hill, and here's the kick. Boots it right down the middle. Bounces inside the 10, picked up at the 15. That's Bear once again, and he goes down. He has just been knocked down by his number's sake as Derek Smith just drops him around the 25-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10, Science Hill.
Bearer needs to stick to catching passes. He does that a little better than running kicks and punts back because he's gotten blasted every time he has. But the squib kick by Eduardo was very effective, actually. Science Hill will take over at about the 24-yard line, if I'm reading the numbers correctly down here in front of me. So a good kick by Eduardo.
It's a beautiful field here as Marcus Bates calls for the Oak Ridge fans to get with it across the way. 1st and 10, Science Hill at the 24-yard line. 11:42 to go, 3rd quarter, just underway. Again here in the second half. Backfield split. Harmon hands it off for good yardage, about 5 as he moves the ball up to the 30, up to the 31-yard line. Another fine surge by Terry Copeland. It appeared he was hit in the backfield. He slipped past the first wave of tacklers and picked up about 7 yards. Sherrod there for the stop for Oak Ridge.
That's something that's so impressive about Copeland. It certainly didn't look like there was any running room there, but he just got his shoulders low to the ground and just drove forward and picked up pretty good yardage, 6 or 7 yards on the 1st down play.
2nd down, about 3 yards to go. Once again, Harmon brings them up, this time from the 32-yard line. Harmon at quarterback, under center with a backfield split. He sneaks the ball forward for a 1st down. He's hit hard down at the 36-yard line. Fumble on the play, picked up by whom? Oak Ridge signaling they have it. Do they? The Wildcats, indeed, no signal. Yes! Oak Ridge will recover the fumble at the 39-yard line and take over 1st down, 10 yards to go.
Sean Crowley just blasted Andy Harmon. That was a hit that will forever go down in Oak Ridge history as one of the biggest, hardest hits of all time. Harmon got up from the hit, and I really don't understand how, because Sean Crowley just really blasted him and knocked the ball loose.
Well, I talked earlier, there's definitely going to be some turnovers, and here we are in the second play of the second half, and we've already got one. Great job by Sean Crowley. Boy, what a stick.
1st down, 10 yards to go from the 39-yard line. The Wildcats with a I formation. A man handoff goes to Sean Wright. He moves the ball to the 35-yard line. The fullback moving the ball for about 5 right on the carry for Oak Ridge.
I think it's really great to see the Wildcats so fired up, David. Sean Crowley with a big stick, and that's really brought the Wildcat fans alive and the team as well. They're really getting into this game. They're jumping around, they're bouncing, patting each other on the helmet, helping each other up. It's really great to see down there. Something we didn't see an awful lot of in the first half.
10 minutes, 10 seconds to go, third quarter. Johnson City leads it 15-3 on their home field in a driving rain. From the 36-yard line, from the eye, two receivers to the right. Alonzo rolls to his left, looks down the field, might run, tucks it underneath, and will go sliding out of bounds and stopping the clock at around the 33-yard line. The clock is not stopped. It continues to tick. Obviously, Alonzo didn't get out of bounds. It'll be for Oak Ridge. Third down and about 4 yards to go for a first. 15-3 the score. I thought Alonzo got out of bounds. Obviously not. The ball's inside the Science Hill 35 at the 33. Big third down play. Third down and 4.
Oak Ridge has been very efficient at picking up these third down plays in the playoffs, David. They were did a great job against Jefferson County and last week against Gallatin, an outstanding job.
Up to the line, Oak Ridge. Third down and 4. Howard from the 33-yard line. From the eye once again, he'll pitch to his tailback. Williams gets a good hit of steam, drives forward, and falls close to a first down. Nice little second effort by Sean Williams on the carry, and let's see, does he pick up the first down close to the 30? They give him a good spot inside the 30 at around the 29, and it looks from here as if it's a first down, but it's right in front of the chains, and they're going to check it. Officials timeout, 9:07 to go, third quarter, 15-3. Science Hill on top of Oak Ridge. Quarterfinals here in Johnson City. The winner of this game to take on Riverdale or Farragut, as it will be first down, 10 yards to go for Oak Ridge.
You know, David, I believe this is my 6th game to be broadcast, and I think without a doubt it's definitely the hardest hitting game I've seen. Boy, both teams have really come to play. Seen some just outstanding sticks and licks. It's been really fun to watch.
Up to the line will come Oak Ridge. Sean Crowley, senior wide out to the right. Single man wide to the left. Oak Ridge from the eye, first and 10. 9 minutes to go, third quarter. The Wildcats inside the Hilltopper 30. Alonzo under center. Hands it off to his fullback, who barrels his way across the 25 down to around the 23-yard line as the Wildcats move the ball forward with a fine, strong run by the Oak Ridge fullback.
Looked like Sean Wright on the give that time. Actually, it's Sherrod getting up off the bottom of the pile. Outstanding run by Mike Sherrod, determined run, and something Oak Ridge really likes to see out of their fullbacks, David, and that is picking up yards after they're hit, and that's something Mike did that time, as he just moved the pile down the field, picked up 6 yards on first down. Key to Oak Ridge to pick up good yardage on first down, so they avoid these second and third down long situations.
Up to the line, Oak Ridge. Alonzo Howard, the line of scrimmage, the 23-yard line of Science Hill. 8:15 to go, third quarter. Second down, 3 yards to go. Alonzo rolls right, turns it upfield. He's at the 20, he's at the 15, spins at the 10, barrels to the 5, continues to ramble down. He'll be tackled at the 5-yard line. First down, goal to go, Oak Ridge.
Outstanding run. You know, here we go on the option again. He faked the ball to the fullback going up the middle. He ends up keeping it in a driving down rainstorm. He definitely needs to tuck the ball in a little bit. I think he's had everybody up here scared to death. What an outstanding effort that time by Alonzo Howard down at the 5-yard line.
He's just an outstanding scrambling quarterback, David. That's something, you look at Alonzo and his build, and sometimes you don't really appreciate it, the running and scrambling that he can do, but that was just a big-time run, an awesome run by Alonzo Howard.
First down, goal to go from the 5-yard line. Alonzo Howard hands it off to his fullback, who's inside the 5, pushed back down at around the 3-yard line. It'll be second down, goal to go from that point. 7:38 to go, third quarter, 15-3 Oak Ridge.
Yeah, another good, strong run by Mike Sheridan, and I think the biggest key to that, he's keeping both hands on the football. Down here, on the inside the 5-yard line, there's no way you can afford a fumble. Hats off to Mike Sheridan keeping both hands on the ball.
That's where that summer weight and training conditioning program really comes in handy. Mike Sheridan that time just squatted the Science Hill defender, very reminiscent of he would a weight during the summer offseason, and just pushed down to the 1-yard line. Big run by Sheridan, but let's take a timeout.
Alonzo under center will hand it off to his fullback, who barrels forward. Does he score? Yes, he does. Touchdown, Oak Ridge. 7 minutes, 12 seconds to go in the third quarter, and the Wildcats put their first 6 up on the scoreboard, and they trail at 15-9.
And what a better, no better person to give the ball to than Mike Sheridan down there on the goal line. We've pointed out how strong a runner he is, and how Scott has pointed out that he really takes care of the football well, and that is exactly what he did that time. Just got a good head of steam coming up towards the goal line and barreled in for a big Oak Ridge touchdown.
15-9, Johnson City on top, 7:12 to go. I believe I've twice in a row said that Oak Ridge was on top, but Science Hill still maintains their lead. 15-9 the score. Lamuno to hold, David Johnson to attempt the extra point. High snap, very high snap. All the way back it goes to the 25-yard line. The Wildcats fall on it at that point. So the extra point try goes awry. In fact, it'll be 15-9, 7:12 to go. So this time Oak Ridge takes advantage of the Science Hill turnover, and the Wildcats will kick off once again. The rain and the Wildcats moving from left to right as Eduardo has it on the tee, and he kicks it long and deep. It'll be fielded inside the 5 and fumbled out of the end zone. It'll be first down, 10 yards to go for the Science Hill Hilltoppers at the 20-yard line. So the Wildcats back to within a touchdown now, 15-9 the score.
Yeah, David, getting back to the extra point, there's no way in the world that Scott Lamuno could have ever caught that pass. It's definitely a very high snap. But that's not death for Oak Ridge. They're only down by 6. If they end up, down by 8 after missing it, it's a totally different ball game. A touchdown, an extra point. Thank goodness for the field goal earlier. They're definitely going to have an easy way to go.
7 minutes, 10 seconds to go. Third quarter, 15-9. The Wildcats trailing here. We're in the third quarter. First and 10, Science Hill. Backfield split. Quarterback Andy Harmon. At quarterback rolling down the line. Pitches it to his tailback. He's at the 20. He takes a lick and dropped at the 22-yard line. This time the Wildcats all over him. Mike Sheridan there quickly made the first lick. The Wildcats, it takes 2 or 3 guys to bring this guy down.
He is definitely for real, David. Terry Copeland, an outstanding running back. And actually wasn't Copeland on the carry, but you're right. Science Hill runs really hard as Love got the carry that time. Something Scott said in the first half that's really an interesting point. Their running backs line up just about 2 or 3 yards behind the linemen, and they're really right there on top of the line of scrimmage.
Second down, 9 yards to go from the 21-yard line. Up to the line, quarterback hands it off this time. Good surge, and he breaks out of the tackle. Is tackled at the 26-yard line. He just continues to drive his legs and gets positive yardage. The Wildcats drop him at the 26 or 27-yard line. It'll be third down, about 3, maybe 2 yards to go. Fine run again by the junior running back for Science Hill.
Looks like we're seeing one of our own running backs running against us, David, the way they just continue to turn and pick their holes and not go down on just little arm tackles. That's exactly what these Science Hill backs are doing. The Wildcats are having to get good, solid licks on them every time to bring them down.
Big defensive play here for the Wildcats. Third down, 3 yards to go. Once again, they'll send receivers left and right. 5:50 to go third quarter. 15-9 the score. Harmon from the 27-yard line. He'll roll left, hand it off. Big stick at the line of scrimmage. No way. Once again, the Wildcats force the punt. And the Wildcats, Roger Sylvie, he is fired up down there.
He's got me fired up, David. I know that. Big stick that time by Sheridan, Roy Howard, and a host of Wildcats getting in the backfield that time and dropping Copeland for a loss of yardage. And we talked about the adjustments made at halftime. The Wildcats, David, it's just early here in the second half, but really, they've really looked nice here early on defense in the second half.
It'll be Matt Maggard to punt again for the Hilltoppers. Fourth down, about 2. Low snap, bounces on the ground. Here's the kick. High, nice long spiral. Crowley will field it on the fly. Gives ground. He's at the 40. He's at the 42, and that's where he's tackled. It'll be first down, 10 yards to go for the Wildcats at the 42-yard line. You all mentioned a minute ago, Scott mentioned, I believe this might be the hardest hitting ball game we've seen, and really penalty-free right now, and it's been an outstanding game to watch.
Yeah, no doubt. I think we've had 3 penalties in the game. I think we've had 2 offsides and a delay of game. Penalty-free first half, and hopefully it'll be, really for both teams. You don't want to see a bunch of penalties in a caliber football game of this magnitude.
And we saw it last week against Gallatin when the Green Wave marched 45 yards on 3 consecutive 15-yard penalties, and that certainly wasn't pretty to see. And you really have to tip your hats to the coaching staffs who've done a good job of teaching their team the fundamentals and the rules of the game.
Up to the line, Oak Ridge. The Wildcats from the eye. The handoff goes to Sheridan. Big hole opened up momentarily. He moves the ball across the 45. Mooks the ball up to the 47-yard line. Gain of about 5 for the fullback. Right up the middle. 4:26 to go third quarter. 15-9. The Wildcats trailing Science Hill.
We call Mike Sheridan's name out it seems like every play on defense, and here on the offensive end, he's just really running with a lot of determination. And the biggest key in this driving rain, he's keeping both hands on the ball.
Up to the line, Oak Ridge, De'Ara Patterson, a wideout to the left side, which is the far side. Single coverage on Ridge with a slot to the left side from the eye once again. The Wildcats Handoff, Sean Williams across the 50, close to a first down. He falls forward into Johnson City Science Hill territory at the 47-yard line. Let's see, a good spot on the ball. It should be a first down for the Wildcats.
From my perspective, David, it looks like it's going to be very close, and from the officials' perspective, it looks to be close as well. Is they're going to bring the chains out on the field? We'll take a timeout. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
You want to get your mom's spots in.
That's what I was going to say. Get your mom's spots in.
I've been taking timeouts like crazy.
I don't doubt it. In fact, I think it's the Mel.
We need a big play. We gotta have something big. Something that really goes down the field.
One time.
First down.
I thought so too.
Yeah, the Oak Ridge crowd's really starting to get each other.
Back here from Johnson City, Tennessee, Memorial Stadium.
David Clary, Michael Langenberg, Scott Monger, and Mark Case back here at Science Hill. First down, 10 yards to go for Oak Ridge at the Science Hill 47-yard line. Oak Ridge from the eye, first and 10. 3:35 to go, third quarter. Alonzo Howard hands it off to his tailback. Moves the ball to the 40-yard line, drives his legs for a gain of about 8 yards on the play.
Well, the Wildcats, David, I pointed it out earlier, coming up with Marcus Bates in the slot and Garfield Adams at tight end. It's really just a smash mouth formation, and it's one the Wildcats run very effectively out of and do an outstanding job, and it really is great to see the Wildcats just take that assertive attitude and just really hard running on the part of the Wildcat running backs right now.
It was a game of 7 on the play. Second down, 3 yards to go. Once again from the eye, the Wildcats. Second down, 3 from the Science Hill 40. Alonzo hands it off to his fullback, Mike Sherrod. First down, Oak Ridge, as he moves the ball across the 35-yard line, slides forward to about the 34. First and 10, Oak Ridge.
You know, really had a great, just a simple straight handoff to the fullback that time. Mike Sherrod did a great job picking up the first down. He barely got tripped up, and there was really nothing in front of him. It's unfortunate for Oak Ridge. The Oak Ridge fans have just really come to life after the last first down. They're really fired up and ready to go for this the remainder of this game.
The defensive, or actually the linebackers for Science Hill are really starting to cheat up as the Wildcats have begun to eat away with these big rushing yards. We'll see if the Wildcats try to take advantage of that with some sort of pass over the middle.
Bates in a slot to the right, Oak Ridge from the eye. Here's the handoff to Williams. He fumbles it as he moves the ball forward. Fumbled in the air, grabbed it, moved the ball across the 35 to the 34. Not a big gain on the play. Tough break. I don't think he would have gone far anyway. Not a big hole that time by the Wildcats. He does pick up positive yardage, though. It'll be second down, about a yard to go. 2:10 to go, third quarter. Science Hill on top, 15-9.
Each and every play, David, the Wildcats from that formation hand the ball to either Sherrod or Williams. Marcus Bates is coming around the end, faking the reverse. We'll see when the Wildcats elect to go with that, and when they do, big yardage is in store.
Up to the line, Oak Ridge. Single wide out to the right. Once again, second down and 9. Alonzo hands it off to Bates. Bates gets a block from Longus. Cuts it to the outside. He's at the 25 to the 20. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Oak Ridge.
Oh, no doubt, Mike. Great call. You know, we've seen him fake that play on the last 4 or 5 plays. And, Mike, you call it great. Hats off, Big Mike.
Well, that was the play they ran that time, David. They've been running Sherrod and Williams up the middle each and every time, faking Bates around the end, and that time they gave it to him, and nobody's going to catch Marcus Bates from the backside. That time just turned on the afterburners and went into the end zone untouched.
15-15 the score. The Wildcats going for their first lead in the ball game. 1:40 to go in the third quarter. The Wildcats will send once again sophomore David Johnson into the game to attempt a very important extra point. Scott Lamuno to hold. Ramsey Lillard to snap. 15-15 the score. Here's the snap. The hold is blocked, and we're tied at 15. Let's take a quick break. 15-15 the score, and we'll be back in 30 seconds. 1:40 to go, third quarter, and the Wildcats prepare to kick. Eduardo Rivera to kick off for the Wildcats. It looks as if he wants to pooch it up once again. And let's see, he does. High kick, fair catch, signal for, and made, and fumbled on the ground. Picked up by Science Hill at the 29-yard line. They'll take over, first down, 10 yards to go.
Well, Science Hill has been adjusting, David, all game long to the pop-up kick, but the Wildcats have elected to go deep with each and every kick. That time they had a few linemen in there, obviously players with perhaps not the best hands in the world. Oak Ridge, I don't know if they saw that or not and elected to go with the pop-up, but Eduardo popped it up to a big number 50-something linebacker lineman type, and Of course, he probably hadn't caught a ball in years and fumbled it away, but Oak Ridge wasn't able to recover.
And let's see what the Oak Ridge defense can do. They've looked superb here in the early going in the second half. Andy Harmon under center. Backfield split, 2 receivers to the right. Harmon hands it off. Boom! Big stick at the line of scrimmage. No place to go. Mike Sherrod there, along with Harvey Stevens, Garfield Adams, along with Roy Howard of the Wildcats. It'll be, let's see, second down. 9 yards to go for Science Hill. 1:09 to go, third quarter. 15-15 the score.
Yeah, it's the first time that Terry Copeland's ran the ball and actually was stopped on his initial hit. Mike Sherrod has just done a great job all game long, and boy, he's really fired up and getting the players and also the Oak Ridge fans fired up.
David, Mike Sherrod has just done an outstanding job on both sides of the ball. I'd really like to see him stop jumping up and down after each and every hit. He's going to have to save some of that energy for the fourth quarter.
Second down, 9 yards to go. The ball at the 29-yard line. Harmon rolls to his right, pitches. The ball is hit. Man gets away from, boom, big stick. Once again by Oak Ridge at around the, let's say, the 32-yard line. It'll be third down, then about 8 yards to go.
Well, if Oak Ridge certainly isn't sending a message here in the second half with the way they're hitting Sean Crowley is, because he's really flat-backed about 3 or 4 players. That time just blasted the ball carrier, knocked him clean off his feet, went sailing and cascading down to the turf. Wildcats really hitting hard.
Yeah, you know, this is a huge play, 3rd and 7 coming up, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Hilltoppers put this one up in the air.
10 seconds to go. Third down, about 6 yards to go for a first at the 32. Harmon under center, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, and the third quarter will come to a close on that snap. It will not count. We'll go to the fourth and final. 15-15 the score. Third down and long, facing Johnson City. 2 receivers to the left. Opening play of the fourth and final quarter. Harmon, the quarterback, and he'll roll to his right, turns it upfield, and is sacked City, I believe, by Jeff Miner as he was dicked at the 32-yard line. Nowhere to go that time, and punted again, Hilltoppers.
David, of course, as the third quarter was coming to a close, Science Hill, you pointed out, snapped the ball and actually carried out their play for a few seconds before the whistles blew. And of course, that play was blown dead, but Oak Ridge saw that they were planning on passing. So when Science Hill comes back and runs the first play of the fourth quarter, they elected to go to the ground. Strange call. The Wildcats came up big. A huge play by Jeff Miner as he brought Harmon down to the turf.
Matt Maggard in to punt the ball away for the Hilltoppers. Sean Crowley back at the 32. Fourth down at 5. Low snap. He recovers. Nice little spiraling kick. Not very long. Crowley will let it bounce. And it goes inside the 25. And he gets away from it. And the Wildcats will take over at the 23-yard line. And it'll be first and 10 Oak Ridge. 11-10 to go in the ball game. 15-15 the score. Quarterfinals, TSSAA Playoffs. The winner to take on the winner of the Riverdale-Farragut ball game next Friday night with a chance to advance to the Clinic Bowl in the state championship game on December the 11th. 11-10 to go. 15-15 the score. The line of scrimmage, let's see, officially will be at the 23-yard line, and it'll be first down, 10 yards to go for Oak Ridge. DeAndre Johnson, the leading receiver on the season for the Wildcats, drifting to the left side wide. Once again from the eye, Bates in a slot to the left side. Once again, first and 10. The handoff to the fullback. That's Sherrod. He barrels to the 30, to the 31, to the 32-yard line. They couldn't stop him. He moves the ball forward for a big gain.
He's just so determined, David. He just wants to pick up extra yardage. He's not going down until he is brought down. And, you know, Oak Ridge with Sean Crowley at safety, he sees somebody like that just standing up with guys hanging on to him left and right. He comes and finishes him off. These Science Hill defenders in the secondary really are kind of coming to and bringing down the running backs timidly. Just one difference in the two teams I thought I'd point out.
The rain continues to drive down here. 15-15 to score. Second down, 3 yards to go. Once again, the fullback will go. The Wildcats moving the ball forward, short of a first down at the 34, or will it be? A good run by the Wildcats. Picking up the first down is Sean Wright. Picks up the first down. What the Wildcats want to do here is just run the clock down and move the sticks and score. 15-15 the score. Science Hill to this point in the second half has not been able to get their offense on track.
Yeah, it's a good point, David. You know, I think Oak Ridge definitely needs to have a long, time-consuming drive this time. Put some points on the board. You know, I think right now it's settled for a field goal or anything.
Andy Clark wide to the left side. Oak Ridge once again with Bates in the backfield. The handoff will go to the tailback, Sean Williams, who moves the ball forward for about 3 yards as he moves the ball to the Oak Ridge 37-yard line. It'll be second down, 7 yards to go. 9 minutes, 39 seconds to go in this ball game. 15-15 the score. The Wildcats have scored 12 unanswered points here in the second half and have tied the game at 15. 9:25 and counting. Second down, about 8 yards to go. The Wildcats with Sean Crowley wide to the left. Single man wide to the right. Oak Ridge with senior quarterback Alonzo Howard from the eye this time. Oak Ridge to the line, 2nd and 3. And Alonzo rolls right, turns it upfield, 40. He's at the 45. He picks up the first down at the 50. Down he goes to the 45. Still on his way. Driving. He's still on his feet to the 40. Down he goes to the 35. First down, 10 yards to go, Oak Ridge.
Well, you know, we saw a couple weeks ago, we saw Sean Wright with one of the best runs I've ever seen. This has got to be right up there, if not better. Alonzo Howard ends up dragging 8 or 10 people with him. Just absolutely one of the most determined efforts I've ever seen.
David, certainly you got to give all the credit to Alonzo and his blockers that time who were helping him down the field, and Alonzo kicking those legs up high and churning downfield. But again, it goes back to that point I brought up. The Wildcats have the defensive backs that come up and finish the play off, finish the tackle off that time. Science Hill just coming up there timid, and Alonzo and company is taking advantage.
The ball's fumbled in the backfield. The Wildcats turn it over at the 45-yard line. Tough break for the Wildcats that time. The Hilltopper fans on their feet. Tough turnover for the Wildcats. They'll take over. First down, 10 yards to go. The Hilltopper offense on the field. They'll take over the Oak Ridge 45. 8 minutes, 44 seconds to go. Yes. Backfield split, 1st and 10 from the Hilltopper 45. Harmon under center, 1st and 10. Single receiver to the right. Quarterback hands it off for about let's see, 2 yards maybe as they move the ball to the 47-yard line. On the carry, Darrell Love. It'll be second down, about 8 yards to go. 8 minutes, 15 seconds to go in the game. We're tied at 15.
Wouldn't be surprised to see Science Hill come right back to that play, except to have the quarterback Harmon keep it and perhaps pitch it to his tailback, his fine tailback, Terry Copeland, who, by the way, was held to just 12 yards rushing in the third quarter. Great job defensively by the Wildcats.
The line of scrimmage, the 47-yard line, actually closer to the 48 of Science Hill. Backfield split once again. Once again, they'll send a receiver to the right. Second down, about 8 yards to go. Harmon, the quarterback, hands it off, and he moves the ball to the 50-yard line. Is tackled at that point. It'll be third down and about 5 yards to go.
You know, something that it looks like every single time that the quarterback gets the ball from the center, it looks like he's having a hard time getting a good handle on it. So maybe it could be a key to this the rest of this fourth quarter.
Third down, 5 yards to go. They put him down officially at the 50-yard line. 7:21 to go in the game. Another big third down play for the Oak Ridge defense. Up to the line will come Science Hill. Single receiver to the right. Backfield split. Andy Harmon, their quarterback, from midfield. Third down, 5. 15-15 the score. We're midway through the fourth quarter. Harmon from the 50-yard line. Movement in the backfield. They set up once again. Harmon from the 50. Single receiver to the right. Quarterback hands it. Oh, the quarterback is sacked. Back at the 44-yard line. I thought Copeland, who busted through it, if he had gotten the ball, he might have scored. But a good defensive play by the Wildcats. It'll be fourth down, and they'll punt again.
Boy, what a great play at the time by the defense. I think everybody up here, and I think most of the Johnson City people thought that the fine running back Copeland had it. He ended up being about 10 or 15 yards down the field, and obviously he didn't have it. Big break.
I think it's just a tribute to Andy Harmon and his ball handling skills. He had us all faked out up here, but luckily he didn't give it to Copeland that time because it looked like he had good running room, but the Wildcats were there to swarm Harmon and bring him down for a big sack.
Fourth down and 7. Good snap this time. Here's the punt. High spiraling kick will bounce at around the 20-yard line and roll dead at the 19, and that's where Oak Ridge will take over. First down, 10 yards to go. 6:08 to go in the ball game. 15-15 the score, and you would hate to see this game end up in an overtime situation. The Wildcats with plenty of time here, but you don't want to turn the ball over down deep here. First down, 10 yards to go. Line of scrimmage, the 19.
I may be mistaken, David, but I do not believe the Wildcats have attempted a pass in the second half. No, they haven't. So we'll see if they're forced to go to the air here on this drive. Of course, the running game has been so successful here in the second half. The Wildcats with a big drive coming up with 6 minutes remaining in this ball game.
Mike Sheridan at fullback. The tailback is Williams. Bates in a slot. Single receiver to the right. Here comes the handoff to Sean Williams. He moves the ball to the 23-yard line. It'll be a gain of about 3, maybe 4 yards. It'll be second down, 6. The clock ticking down to 5:40 to go in the game. 15-15 the score. Second down, about 7 yards to go. Line of scrimmage is at the 23-yard line of Oak Ridge. The Wildcats Substituting players, Chris Brown's in as a wide out. He'll drift off wide to the left side. Single man wide to the right. Second down, 7 yards to go. 5 minutes, 21 seconds to go in the game. From the eye, Oak Ridge, senior quarterback Alonzo Howard. From the 23, he'll hand it off to Bates. Bates needs a block, turns it upfield, dives forward to around the 25 or 26-yard line, but a big third down play upcoming for Oak Ridge. The Wildcats, Bates tackled officially at the 25, so it'll be third down and about 3.5 yards to go.
Early in the year, David, we saw Oak Ridge fake the option and send their tight end Garfield Adams down the middle of the field on sort of a pop pass sort of a situation. With the Wildcats being so successful with the option in the running game, wouldn't be surprised to see Oak Ridge go to some sort of a quick pass here. We'll just have to see.
Curley wide to the left side. Oak Ridge, a little confusion in the backfield as Bates lines up in the slot to the left, which is the near side. From the eye, Alonzo will pass, pumps once, goes down the field. The pass is going to be there. It's going to be caught at the 50-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go. Crowley, a beautiful catch. First and 10 at midfield.
And Howard, a beautiful throw, David. Great call that time by Oak Ridge. They, Science Hill, guessed as I did, thought Oak Ridge would go with the quick pass as Sean Crowley faked the short hitch, and Sean Crowley spun off, went deep, and Alonzo hit him right in stride. Great catch, great throw, great play.
15-15 the score, 4:25 to go in the ball game. The Wildcats with the ball at midfield. Two receivers, actually one receiver to the right side. Oak Ridge once again from the eye. 4:15 to go in the game. First and 10 Oak Ridge from midfield. Alonzo Howard under center to his fullback Sherrod, who barrels into Hilltopper territory, moving the ball to the 47, but the time continues to tick down here. 4 minutes, 4 seconds to go. A big third down conversion by the Wildcats on the throw and catch from Alonzo to Sean Crowley. A gain of about 2 on the play. Second down, 8 yards to go. 3:55 to go in the ball game. 15-15 the score. Up to the line of scrimmage will come the Wildcats. Andy Clark as a wide out to the right. The Wildcats, second down, about 8 yards to go, 3:40 and counting in the ball game. Up to the line, which is the 48-yard line of Science Hill. Alonzo once again from the eye. The pitch will go to Williams. Williams hit hard and dropped at the line of scrimmage. Another nice defensive play by Science Hill's Wayne Cross. He's made 2 big plays like that in the ball game. It's down to third down and 9 yards to go, 3:20 to go here in this ball game from rainy Johnson City, Tennessee.
The Wildcats last time, David, on a third down and long situation, or actually a third down and about 5 or 6 situation, went to the airwaves. We'll see what they do here.
DeAndre Johnson and Sean Crowley wide to the right. Oak Ridge with Mike Sherrod at fullback. The tailback is Sean Williams. The rain continuing to fall from the 48-yard line. Quarterback Alonzo Howard drops back to pass, rolling to his right, wants to run, runs across the 40. First down and more at the 35. Slides down at the 32. First and 10 Oak Ridge. 3 minutes to go in the ball game. Another fantastic run by Alonzo Howard.
Well, indeed it was, David. Just an outstanding run by Alonzo as he rolled to his right. You got to give Science Hill credit. They had all the receivers covered, but Alonzo once again turned on the speed. He has just got outstanding speed. Just did a great job hitting the hole. He is so quick. He's got those long strides and, of course, tucked the ball under and dove forward, picked up a big first down.
First and 10 Wildcats at the 34-yard line of Science Hill. 3 minutes to go in the ball game. Here's the play to Bates. Bates hit at the line of scrimmage, tackled after a gain of about a yard at most. The ball's at the 33. 2 minutes, 41 seconds to go. The ball's inside the 35-yard line of Johnson City. 15-15 the score. The Wildcats have done all the scoring here in the second half. A 2-yard run by Mike Sherrod and a 34-yard touchdown run by Marcus Bates. Officially no gain on the play. Second down 10, 2:24 to go and counting in the ball game. The Wildcats second down 10 from the 33. They'll send D.R. Patterson wide to the left, a single man wide to the right. Oak Ridge with Sherrod and Williams behind Howard. Second down, 10 yards to go. Alonzo from the 33-yard line under center forever. He sneaks forward, gains good yardage, is stuck right at the 27-yard line. 2 minutes to go. It'll be third down at about 4 after the run by Howard. Right over the center, Jody Dickens. It'll be third down again facing the Wildcats. And let's see, a minute 50 to go.
I'm sorry, David. Alonzo has just crossed the century mark with his 101st yard rushing. He's just done an outstanding job leading the team tonight from his quarterback position.
Well, they really have. It's a big first down they need to get right here. Not only, of course, does it keep the chains going, but we've got to get inside the field goal range.
Up to the line, Oak Ridge. 1:32 to go in the ball game. The Wildcats with Crowley. Actually, that's Patterson wide to the left. Oak Ridge from the I. 3rd down and 4 from the 27-yard line. Alonzo hands it off to his fullback, Sherrod, who moves the ball across the 25, tackled at the 24, shy of the first by about a yard. 1:14 to go. The Wildcats will have it 4th down and about a yard or so to go. 1:06 to go, and this game will be history in regulation as the Wildcats will call a timeout. The ball's inside the 25-yard line at the 24. The Wildcats need to get beyond that to around the 23, so it really, from my vantage point, looks like less than a yard, but it's a long yard when you're down there. The Wildcats needing this first down here, 4th and 1. Alonzo Howard under center, the quarterback for the Wildcats. He moves forward, dives, picks up the first down. Alonzo picks up the first down on the nice drive, had a second serve. The first dive, he didn't do it, and then he came surging again, and I'm sure he will pick up the first down. No signal as of yet, and let's see. Indeed, first down, 10 yards to go for the Wildcats. Yes, 1st and 10 Wildcats, under a minute to go in the ball game. 15-15 the score. The Oak Ridge offense with De'Ara Patterson drifting off wide to the left side. Oak Ridge all ready for the offensive play here. 55 seconds to go. 1st and 10 Wildcats. Howard under center inside the 20 at the 23, and a timeout is asked for officially. Let's see. No, by the Hilltoppers. Oak Ridge from the I at the 23-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go. Alonzo Howard under center from the I. He'll drop back to pass. He's in trouble. He wants to fire it in the end zone. Pass is up for grabs. It's incomplete. Great job by Alonzo Howard. He appeared to, from my vantage point, to be sacked in the backfield, got the pass away, and it was almost caught by Crowley.
Tribute to his arm strength. Excuse me, Scott.
Right. But, a sack right there would have been absolutely devastating when you end up, they're possibly in field goal range. I don't know how long, what the kicker's range is right now, but a sack right there would have been absolutely detrimental to this game.
Coach Gaddis says he feels comfortable within 40 yards, and right now they need to get a little bit farther in. The ball's at the 23, 2nd down and 10, 47 seconds to go in the game. 2 receivers to the left. Alonzo a pass, running for his life again, has some time, across the middle pass, incomplete, off the intended receiver's fingertips. 3rd down, 10 yards to go, 40 seconds to go in this ball game. 15-15 the score. The Wildcats, that time, once again, Alonzo feeling a lot of pressure back there. 3rd down, 10 yards to go. Lots of pressure. Alonzo for the 2nd consecutive play, able to elude that pressure as the Wildcats come to the line. 3rd down and 10. The line of scrimmage, let's see, the 23-yard line. It'll be Patterson wide to the left, DeAndre Johnson wide to the right. Mike Sherrod, the fullback. The tailback is Williams from the I, the 23. Alonzo drops back to pass, rolling to his left, feels some pressure, goes across the middle to a man in the end zone. It's incomplete. So it'll be 4th down. Alonzo took a big shot. 34 seconds to go. 4th down, 10 yards to go, and onto the field will come the field goal unit, I believe led by David Johnson, the sophomore kicker, who hit a 24-yarder early. Let's see if they've made that decision. Yes, the offense coming off the field. 4th down, 10, 34 seconds to go. It'll be, let's see, the Eduardo Rivera coming in to kick. It'll be a 41-yard field goal attempt with Scott Lamuno to hold. 34 seconds to go. 4th down and 10. Lamuno to hold, Eduardo Rivera to attempt. Here's the snap. The kick is up. It's up. It's going towards the goal post. It's good. It's good. A 42-yard field goal, and Oak Ridge takes the lead 18-15.
It's not over yet. Oak Ridge is really celebrating, but Eduardo Rivera, oh my gosh. The kicking game for Oak Ridge has been maligned all year long. Rivera steps up and drills a 41-yarder.
He has just really got to be on cloud 9 right now, as is all the Oak Ridge fans and players. What a kick, what a clutch moment for Oak Ridge.
Oh my goodness, that ball couldn't have cleared the crossbars by at least 2 feet. Oh man, what a kick. 18-15, Oak Ridge on top of the Wildcats. Down to 29 seconds to go, but with Terry Copeland in the ball game, Zion Till is always in this game. Eduardo, I don't know if he's going to be able to kick off. He's going to have to focus on the ball laying there on the tee, or he's going to just get up there and miss it or something. He's got to be so excited right now. Here's the kick. It's going to be fielded at the 25, to the 30, to the 35. The man breaks to the outside. Andy Clark knocks him out of bounds at the 45-yard line. We don't need any personal foul. We're going to get it. 22 seconds to go. A late hit on the sideline over there. So that'll give them an opportunity here They'll add about 15 to the return. They'll have it in Oak Ridge territory. 22 seconds to go. 18-15 the score.
Tough break as the Wildcats look like they're going to pick up a personal foul here, and of course Science Hill will be moved across the 50-yard line. The Wildcat defense has come up huge here, shutting out Science Hill in the second half, but they still have 22 seconds left of shutting out to do. This thing is certainly not over.
22 seconds to go. The officials are still talking about it down there. The Wildcats on top, 18-15. A very exciting ball game. In my opinion, the most exciting game we've seen all season long. Of course, it means a lot more. Quarterfinal playoff game here. 22 seconds to go. They're stepping the penalty. It's in Oak Ridge territory, inside the 45, and they're continuing to walk all the way down to the 35-yard line. A big 15-yarder. The Hilltoppers fans on their feet once again. So, big key penalty against the Wildcats. 22 seconds to go. The ball's at the 28-yard line. Up to the line will come Science Hill. First down, 10 yards to go. They'll send two receivers to the right. Andy Harmon's their quarterback. The Wildcats on top, 18-15. And now it's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct signals. The Wildcats will have to dig in here defensively. The ball's at the 32 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties inside the 30 at the 28. Let's hope this doesn't come back to haunt the Wildcats. 22 seconds to go. Single running back. Harmon at quarterback. First down, 10 yards to go. Harmon under center. Two receivers to the right. He rolls to his right. Looks down the field. In trouble. Fires a pass. Complete. At the 20. 16 seconds to go at the 20-yard line. Roger Sylvie there on the stop. It's not a first down. The timeout is asked for by Science Hill. 14 seconds to go. The ball's at the 20-yard line. They'll send two receivers to the right. Bear along with number 24, Richie Euler. Backfield split, Harmon at quarterback. Second down and 3. Four-man front for the Wildcats. 14 seconds to go from the 21. Harmon hands it off to number 28, Copeland. No place to go. He is tackled. 8 seconds. 7 seconds to go. Actually, 8 total. The ball's at the 20-yard line. Shy of the first down, I believe. It'll be third down and about a yard. And onto the field will come Matt Maggart to attempt to tie here for another field goal. A battle of field goals down here in the final minute. We're down to third down, about a yard to go. And here's the snap. It's high. Here's the hold. It's up. The kick is no good. Oak Ridge is good to the fourth round of the playoffs. It falls under.
Never started ticking down.
Under the crossbar. Pandemonium reigns, and this one's over. Science Hill eliminated on their home field. 18-15 the score. Oak Ridge wins it on the field goal, and Oak Ridge headed to the fourth round.
Oh my goodness, what an absolutely great game. You know, really, wait, when they're calling timeout, we still have some time. The officials are still doing something on the field. I don't know what's going on.
Well, the clock never started running, and there's no way they can even say that there's any time left. There's 3 seconds left, and they attempted the field goal. And, I just don't think there's any way possible that there can be time left on the clock. But it looks like they're going to say that's the case because the Wildcats fans and teammates will head back to the sidelines. David?
Some of the players are still, they thought the game was over. Some of the Oak Ridge players as well as Johnson City players have gone to the locker room. Now it looks like both teams are going to, they're going to play 1 second. It looks like 1 second left on the clock. The only thing Oak Ridge has to do is just get the snap and fall on it, and that should be the ball game.
Alonzo Howard under center, 1 second to go. And let's see, first and 10, he downs it, and it's over. The Wildcats victorious tonight here at Johnson City, knocking off the Hilltoppers by a final score of 18-15. The Wildcats scoring 15 unanswered points here in the second half. An outstanding defensive effort, a great offensive effort, a great kick by Eduardo Rivera, and we're headed to play the Farragut of Riverdale next week.
Well, you look at the highlights of this game, and you have to. Oak Ridge's defense in the second half just played just outstanding football. Alonzo Howard did an outstanding job at the quarterback helm. The offensive line for Oak Ridge, we've really not talked about them this game, and really not much last game, but they've dominated this second half. Just what a great win for Coach Gaddis and these Oak Ridge Wildcats.
I don't know the total yardage in the second half, but Science Hill couldn't have had over 100 total yards. Probably not even anywhere close to that. The Wildcats just really dominated, as Scott and David have said. They just really took it to the Science Hill Hilltoppers, but Johnson City Science Hill really did show me a lot tonight. They were a fine ball team. Terry Copeland has a bright future. and the Hilltoppers deserve a big pat on the back.
You know, I think they surprised a lot of people, a lot of Oak Ridge players out there on how good this Science Hill team was. They were an excellent team. I think they're as good as any of the other two playoff teams we played, if not better.
No doubt. They're, as far as I've seen, the best team the Oak Ridge has played this year. And, you know, we talked earlier, they're all juniors and sophomores. I think they lose a couple seniors, but, man, you know, they're loaded coming back next year. But, you know, we'll worry about next year then. And now, you know, Oak Ridge played a great game. They're going to either Farragut or Murfreesboro, Riverdale. I don't think any of us care where we go, at least because we're there.
I'd like to be a Farragut, but you're right. I don't care whether we go. I'm just glad we're there. So the Wildcats in the Final Four, and right now we don't know the winners of the other games. The Wildcats victorious 18-15 here in the rain at Johnson City. So 2 consecutive times in driving rain, the Wildcats in the playoffs have eliminated the Science Hill Hilltoppers. The last time back in 1979, this one in 93. 18-15, the Wildcats victorious.
Yeah, we do. I don't know if you've already given them, but we had an early second quarter score. We had Farragut 12, Murfreesboro, Riverdale 6.
David, what a way to end the game. You know, Oak Ridge, you know, this game certainly reminds you of the 91 Central game when it just was back and forth and back and forth. You know, certainly quite a different game. That game was all offense and, you know, big offensive output and explosion. But this game dominated by defense, especially by Oak Ridge in the second half. And then, of course, the big missed field goal there at the end. One of the greatest games, I'd have to say, in Oak Ridge history.
I tell you, that ball just barely got under the crossbar. That ball, if it had 2 extra feet, it would have gone through and we would have had a tie game.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I think Eduardo's kick probably crossed the crossbar by about 2 feet, and this one's 2 feet short. So, you know, a total of 2 feet, you know, over a period of 48 minutes decided this game. It's kind of ironic.
Once again, the final score here in Johnson City, the Wildcats victorious 18-15. We'll be talking with the head coach of the Oak Ridge High School Wildcats, although when it rains, he doesn't remember sometimes. We'll be talking to him. I think he'll remember this one. We'll be talking to him a little bit later. We'll also be looking at Mark Haste's final statistics, and when we come back, we'll look at the scoring summary. It's been all Oak Ridge in the second half, 15 unanswered points against an outstanding Johnson City team. The Wildcats trailed at the half 15-3. We'll come back and talk about the entire game after this 2-minute timeout.
Eduardo, talk about that kick that won this game for Oak Ridge.
Oh, I don't know how far that was, but a little nervous, huh? How far was it? Anyway.
Oh, man.
It was a very climatic moment.
Were you scared when you went out there?
I was kind of shocked when Coach called me to do it.
How big were those goalposts when you looked at them?
Very big, huge.
What do you think about the next game for Oak Ridge, whoever y'all play?
Hopefully be fair, we won't win anyway.
Good game.
Way to go, Eduardo.
That's okay.
Let's see what you got there, Mr. C.
Pretty. So pretty.
Let me get a quick interview, Eduardo. All right. Talk about this win for Oak Ridge, Marcus.
You know, we definitely needed this win because we wanted to keep our season going. At halftime, we talked about how we underestimated them. And, you know, the seniors really put it together. The defense put it together. We played a hell of a second half. And, you know, this Oak Ridge football at its best in the second half.
Talk about that touchdown run you had, the reverse.
Well, I thought that I could get them on the reverse because their defense was kind of slow, I thought. And so I talked to Coach Gaddis into running it. It just paid off. It didn't pay off anymore, but oh well, we won.
Finally, talk about next week.
Next week we got either Riverdale or Farragut, and we definitely won't underestimate. We won't underestimate either one of them. You know, we're going to come in hype for the game. We coming to play, baby. We coming to play. Oak Ridge in 93.
Hell yeah, number 1, baby. Stay.
Now here's Mark with the final game statistics.
Thank you very much, Michael. In the ball game, Alonzo Howard finished the game with 102 total yards on the ground. He had that in 12 carries. Sean Williams, 22 carries for 97 yards. Marcus Bates, 3 carries, 36 yards. Mike Sherrod, 9 carries for 48 yards. And Sean Wright had 5 carries for a total of 19 yards. As a team, the Wildcats rushed the ball 52 times for a total of 302 rushing yards. Through the air, Alonzo Howard was 2 for 6 for 29 yards. Sean Crowley caught 1 reception for 26 yards. And DeAndre Johnson had 1 catch for 3 yards. Johnson City leading ground gainer was Terry Copeland. He finished the game with 163 yards. Big key there, David, is He only had 18 yards in the second half. Andy Harmon, 3 carries for 7 yards. Darrell Love, 6 carries for 16 yards. Tyrone Bachman, 1 carry for 1 yard. And Ben Rowland had 1 carry for 2 yards. As a team, they carried the ball 28 times, 489 yards. Andy Harmon, quarterback for Johnson City, threw the ball or attempted 4 passes, completed 3 of them for 45 yards. Chris Burer caught 2 of the catches for 39 yards, and Richie Euler, 1 reception for 6 yards. Rushing yards for Oak Ridge and for the game, 302 yards. Johnson City had 189. Passing yards, Oak Ridge 29, Johnson City 45. Total offense, the Wildcats in the ball game had 331 total offensive yards. Johnson City 234. Penalties, Oak Ridge 4 for 40. Johnson City 1 for 5. First down, big difference here, David. Oak Ridge 16 first downs. Johnson City 6. None of those in the second half.
Excuse me, David. No first downs in the second half. Just complete defensive domination in the second half. David, something you pointed out during the game was the fact that Oak Ridge's offense was on the field so much. Science Hill didn't have a chance to really get anything going offensively. Terry Copeland was just 18 yards. I don't think Science Hill went away from him. It's just he wasn't on the field at all. Oak Ridge kept 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. Science Hill just didn't have an opportunity to do anything.
But Mark might correct that and say it seemed like Love carried the ball quite a bit in the second half, which maybe as a decoy to him. But you and I we talked about it off the air, saying, well, we've heard about these great backs before. This is definitely the best back we've seen all year.
Yeah, no doubt. He was very impressive. You look at what he did in the in the first half. He's very explosive, very hard runner. Thank goodness we don't have to give a Player of the Game award out here. You look at just throughout, it's definitely a total team effort. The kicking game was outstanding. Alonzo Howard, I thought, did an outstanding job running the ball. He made some good throws. The fullback position, Mike Sherrod, Sean Wright, had some explosive, hard, just absolutely, just super hard yards up the middle. The offensive line, the defense, the kicking game, it's really, in a true essence of the word, a true total team win.
Oh, it really is. And you pointed out the tough yards by Mike Sherrod up the middle and Sean Wright, the fullbacks. Mike Sherrod really deserves a pat on the back, going both ways. We called his name out so many times defensively, just an outstanding job, but also his hard running up the middle was really key to Oak Ridge. It was key to getting, really getting the team up and motivated when, they see Mike Sherrod in there breaking 3 or 4 tackles. The same with Alonzo. He had a nice run where he was just carrying people down the field. And, those sorts of runs really get your team pumped up and motivated. David, looks like Coach Gaddis has made his way into the booth.
And take a break here and send it back to James Allen. When we come back, we'll be talking with the head coach of the Oak Ridge High School Wildcats, and we'll get to that in 3 minutes. And Coach Joe Gaddis has joined us here, and Coach is getting to sit down. He has a choice of mics, and Mike's in his way, so we'll get him out of the way. Coach, once again, congratulations on a big victory here. A very exciting ball game. The first half, it was just a nail-biter. They were able to move the ball with their very fine running back. Michael and I were talking in the pregame and off the air. We didn't know how good he was, and we saw tonight he's, I think, the best back we've faced all year. Great second half. You denied them the ball. They picked up no first downs. He had 17 or 18 yards in the first half. The key was keeping their offense off the field, and your team able to move the chains. Great running by Alonzo, great runs by the fullback and the tailback, great effort, great kick by Eduardo. Comment on all the above.
Well, first half, we knew how good Copeland was and how good their offensive line was, and the quarterback did a heck of a job throwing a touchdown pass down there. Got a couple of good little receivers, number 8 especially, but they have a good football team. And I think too many people, as I said earlier, too many people were thinking in terms of either 79 or 80, whatever it was, that either they came, I think they came to Oak Ridge and we beat them 50-0 in the playoffs. When was
1979.
Okay, 79. And, our people heard that, and I think that, I don't think we had the kind of respect for them that we should have. And, basically our press and our townsfolk always hark back to that. And, I think despite what we said this week, it was hard to make our kids really believe that this was a real good football team. And the first half certainly reinforced that, and we were almost on the verge of elimination. And, I thought Sean Crowley, I think it was Sean, early in the second half, set the tone for the second half by knocking the stuffings out of somebody and causing the fumble. And then we went on and made it 15-9, and then we missed an extra point, I guess, or had a bad snap. And, second half, we just totally controlled it, dominated it. We did what we had to do to win this football game and proceed. The last thing I told the team at halftime was that, we need to get our heads up. We're a little down, and if we're good enough to win a championship, then we've got to darn well be good enough to come out and win this ball game in the second half. We've got to come out and dominate this half, not just squeeze by. We've got to dominate the half, and we did it. And who knows how good we are, but we're good enough to do that.
Fourth round. Let's go back here. I thought their offensive line was good. That was obvious in the first half, but I thought in the second half, your linebackers, particularly Mike Sheeran, you talked about Sean Crowley as well. He made 3 big sticks in the ballgame. I remember. I think Derek Smith made a couple of big ones down there too.
On a punt, I believe he made a great lick on a punt. I guess I don't remember when that was. Now it was the first half, but he had a big stick. We played great defense in the second half. We didn't give them many first downs as we couldn't have. And we did when we had no first downs. Okay, well, I didn't remember any, but I figured there may have been one. But it was just a great half of football for us. If we're going to play one good half, I want it to be the second, but I'd rather play 2.
What about the quarterback play of Alonzo Howard? I think he rushed for over 100 yards tonight.
Hey, he carried 15 or 20 guys for 10 or 11 it looked like 15 or 20 for about 15 or 20 yards. He's got tremendous balance and good strength, and he did a great job at quarterback. We didn't do much throwing, but when we did, it was a perfect pass down here to Sean Crowley, and Sean made a great catch on the sidelines to set up, I guess, maybe our tying touchdown.
Setting up the game-winning field goal, I think.
Game-winning field goal, okay, I couldn't remember.
What about that field goal? I mean, everything was perfect. The good snap after Ramsey had trouble on one and obviously was upset with himself. The perfect snap, the perfect hold, and boom, the kick. As soon as the ball was down, the kick was in the air. It cleared the upright, maybe 2 feet or so, but it was good.
It was the best 2 feet in the world. Eduardo Rivera is certainly to be commended, and as you say, Ramsey Leonard had a good snap after coming off a bad one down here. Which he really gets down about things like that. Scott Lamuna with a good hold, much better protection than down here on the extra point where they blocked, and we didn't look like we blocked anybody. We had to do it down here, and we got it done. We didn't have any timeouts, so I didn't have time to really talk to them about anything. But they just sucked it up and did what they had to do to win, and that's what Oak Ridge football is all about.
I know I don't want to talk about the negatives here, but boy, it made it very tense down here with that last field goal there. It just barely got under the crossbar.
Yeah, a tough call over there. You couldn't really see the boundary. And when we slung him down, and I would never, I don't remember who it was, but I would never say anything to the guy that slung him down because he needed to make sure he went down.
Right.
And then somebody on the sidelines tossed the ball back on the field, and I think it hit one of the officials, and he took offense to that. It wasn't like he turned around and drilled him, but we got penalty after penalty all of a sudden, and it was just a wild scenario there, but none of it was intentional. None of it was anything that I feel like I need to address our team about because it wasn't. There was no flagrant foul over there. It was just an unfortunate event. I thought, to be honest with you, I thought the officials lost control over there. They came over there at us like we had just committed every major crime in the century.
One thing I wanted to ask of the games I've seen, I know you take away the perennial powerhouses, Jefferson County and Gallatin. This had to be one of the hardest hitting games I think I've ever seen.
Well, I tell you, it was, and their team was a hard-hitting team to begin with, but when they got up on us and realized they were whipping us up front, they really started to rev it on in there. They wanted to annihilate us, and I think they did for a while.
Yeah, I think it's also good to mention that I think we ended up getting the better looks than they did. I think that's without a doubt.
Well, over the long haul, as I said, we won the second half a little bit better than they won the first half, and I think physically we won the second half better than they won the first half physically.
Coach Riverdale has taken a lead here in the third quarter, I think 16-12. Do you want to play in the rain again next week? Wherever?
Well, I tell you what, our kids, that's one thing. We don't mind playing in the rain. We kind of like it. We're undefeated in the rain. We've lost a game or two in the dry. So, we kind of want it to rain, I guess. But seriously, we'll play wherever, don't care who. People have said all week, well, don't you really want to get back at Farragut? And I don't care. I'm just happy to be there. I'm happy to be the team that's through playing and knows we're already in the fourth round as opposed to those two teams in Middle Tennessee. But we wanted to play Riverdale or Farragut, whoever wins. Don't care about the trip to Riverdale or don't care about going, across the line over there to Farragut. Just want to play.
Here comes the press harping on something. Oak Ridge has never lost a fourth-round playoff ball game, and that's another one of those stats, like the Johnson City win 14 years ago, that maybe is out the window.
Well, we don't ever want to see that streak broken. We're going to the fourth round. This team right now has gone further than any team I've ever coached except for the 91 championship team. We lost three-rounders in years 1, 2, and 3, 88, 89, 90, and we're going to the fourth round, and, we want to keep that streak intact, obviously.
Coach, I'm going to let you go here. Congratulations. I know you're extremely wet and great. Yeah, well, it was nice and dry here. We didn't like it until about the last few seconds of the ball game. It was very nerve-wracking. I know the fans back at home were on the ends of their seat all night, and a great turnout of fans across there. They weren't as loud in the first half, maybe because of the rain, but in the second half they took over once again.
They didn't give, we didn't give me a reason to be loud in the first half, except maybe booing me. But the second half they came to life, as our football team did, and I think there's a strong correlation there. We came out before we'd ever done anything. Our fans were going nuts, and our fans, I'm sure, realize that they can propel us into maybe some better play than we would normally make. So, I think our fans had more to do with our second half comeback as opposed to anything that may have been said at halftime.
Final four in the state. Good luck next week, whether it be Farragut or Riverdale.
Thanks a lot.
Joe Gaddis, the head coach of the Wildcats, his team victorious by a final score of 18-15 on the 41-yard field goal by Eduardo Rivera, which I believe is around maybe the fourth or fifth longest in the history of the program.
And let's see, certainly an outstanding kick, just an outstanding clutch performance by Eduardo. Really stepped up and drilled, and the rain just continued to fall. It hadn't let up a bit in the rain on the wet, slippery conditions, as Coach Gaddis pointed out, and drilled it. Just really a clutch performance.
Yeah, it also has to go back. They had a bad snap earlier, the perfect snap. Lamuno did a great job getting the ball down, and I think everybody's mentioned it. As soon as the ball was on the tee, the ball was kicked. I thought Lamuno had to really hurry up and get his hands out of there. He was going to end up with a nub.
Once again, we're going to close it out here. Well, let's take one final break. Maybe we'll get a score that we can give a relay on to Coach Gaddis, still standing here behind us for the Riverdale-Farragut game. Once again, the final score here, 18-15. Oak Ridge victorious over the Johnson City Science Hill Hilltoppers, and we'll be back in 1 minute. And we're back here in Science Hill at Johnson City. The Wildcats victorious by a final score of 18-15 on the field goal by Eduardo Rivera. And guys, your final comments before we close it out.
I thought the second half was key. Obviously, Oak Ridge came out, dominated, outscored Science Hill, came away with a big win. I think the hitting was key, as Sean Crowley and Mike Sherrod and all the Wildcats defenders came through with numerous lick after lick and really set the tempo. I think the defensive adjustments made at halftime were a big key. And, of course, the intensity and execution on the part of the Wildcats' entire team, both defensively and offensively, was the big key for Oak Ridge to come away with a big win.
David, we talked on the trip up here about the third round probably being the hardest to get up for, especially when you come off big wins over Jefferson County, over Gallatin, and it's the hardest one to get up for. The fourth round, of course, you want to make it to Vanderbilt. So I'm sure next week the players will be hyped, and I don't think they really care who they play if it's Farragut. I'm sure that's back in their minds a little bit, but I'm sure we'll see a good one. And Oak Ridge is playing very well right now.
I tell you, it might even be better to play Riverdale because the fact that Oak Ridge might have that revenge on their mind to play Farragut. I'd like to play Farragut, but Oak Ridge plays well on the road, although it'll be on the turf at Middle Tennessee State. So, that would be a good way to get ready for the state championship game at Vanderbilt the following week.
Yeah, and that's something that is maybe a little bit overrated on the difference in playing in grass and playing in turf. I personally don't think it makes a hill of beans difference. I'd like to see the speed of this Oak Ridge team on a good dry turf.
And, of course, you're right. Oak Ridge, certainly, as David pointed out, a good point. Playing on the turf would be a good preparation for Vanderbilt. But, it'd be great to see DeAndre Johnson and Sean Williams and all them out there on the turf. That would certainly be outstanding. And, I don't think we can close it out without once again mentioning the clutch field goal by Eduardo Rivera, which is good enough for fourth all-time, or fifth maybe even. There's been a couple 45-yarders, a couple 44-yarders, and a couple 43-yarders, a 42-yarder, and then Eduardo Rivera now etches his name in the record books with a 41-yard game-winning field goal. I don't know if any of these others were game-winning field goals, but certainly Eduardo will forever be remembered for his heroics tonight at Johnson City.
So once again, the final score, Oak Ridge wins it 18-15, heading to the fourth round, the semifinals, the final four in the state. Oak Ridge against either Riverdale or Farragut. I guess
looks like Riverdale, 29-12. They're ahead in the third or fourth quarter.
Of course, Mike McNeely will have all the scores here coming up here in a few minutes. I think they're going to play the Oak Ridge football highlight tape for about 10 minutes, and then Mike McNeely will have his scoreboard show, and then the Tennessee Prep scoreboard show to follow you up until midnight here on the Mighty 1290 and Tennessee Cablevision Channel 12. We'd like to thank the people who made the broadcast possible. Our engineer back at the station, James Allen, along with Mike McNeely, who, as I mentioned, will be coming up here in a second with scores of interest. And we'd like to thank Andrew Smith at Tennessee Cablevision Channel 12. We'd like to thank once again our statistician, Mark Case, who did a fine job, and we'd like to thank him, along with Michael Langenberg and Scott Monger. We'll be back next week, perhaps an 8:30 kickoff once again, and our pregame coverage will begin at 6 o'clock. And right now we have scheduled for our Where Are They Now to begin at 6 o'clock. Sean Summers, former Wildcat, great, all-time leading ground gainer in Oak Ridge history, and that'll be right before our start of our broadcast for the fourth round game next week. Until next week, so long, everybody. Although, one more thing, basketball season starts as well for the Wildcats on Tuesday. We'll have the game beginning at 5 o'clock, the junior varsity game, the girls at 6:30, the boys at 8 o'clock. So we'll have basketball on Tuesday, basketball on Thursday, football on Friday, and basketball on Saturday. So it's a big sports week for Oak Ridge High School. So long, everybody.